Hey guys, welcome back. So today I'm going to be going over some colored pencil basics and some tips. So the first thing you're going to need is obviously colored pencils and some paper. So the first thing I'm going to tell you is that there's different types of paper out there. And usually you want to get like a more textured, heavier paper, I guess. I don't know. Like this is 98-pound paper. That's not the price. That's like, well, if you're from a different place. But that's how much it weighs. Not literally, but I don't know how to explain that. So you want something usually like thick and textured almost. Like a Bristol paper sort of thing. So like smooth sort of and textured, I guess. And I got this at Michael's. You don't have to get this. This is mixed media. This isn't like specifically for colored pencils, but it works with watercolor, pen, and pencil, acrylic, and other stuff. That's why I like it, because it's for multiple things. Now, as for colored pencils, there's wax-based, which is Prismacolors, and a bunch of other stuff like Luminance and all that stuff. And then there's also oil-based, like Faber-Castells, the Polychromos, these, and stuff like that. Now, as for colored pencils, my #1 tip would probably be it doesn't matter too much what you have. It more matters the technique and the scale, which is what I'm going to go over in this video. So I'm going to be using these for most of it, but if you can find, if you could afford Prismacolors, there's actually like a good sale that I just checked. It was like 50 for like 100 or 70 of them, I forget, but it was a pretty good price today. I just happened to check because I was making this video. And then these are like 20 for 60. These are cheaper, but they're pretty good. And if you use Crayola, that's okay too. This will work with anything. Have you ever been coloring and realized there was some white spaces on there and you couldn't always get them? So this would be coloring lightly, sort of. Now there's different types of looks. Now in different paper you could color lighter to get rid of the white things, I guess you'd call them. I don't care about coloring in the lines right now, but yeah. So when you color hard, usually you get rid of the lines. This is called burnishing. So this is coloring regular, this is called burnishing. Now, there's pros and cons to each, and you'll want different types of looks for different types of things. Burnishing damages the tooth of the paper, which means that usually you can't layer on top of it after you do this. Like, let's say I'm just gonna make it a little thicker. Another tip I wanted to tell you was to keep your colored pencil sharpened, because it'll make it easier to get in there a little. Now look, when I go in here, without like any pressure really, it pretty much mixes and blends pretty well. Now when I try to do this, it doesn't really do anything. Like it'll go over it if you press hard enough, but it doesn't give you that like same blendy feel. And this is because there's texture in the paper, so there's these little thingies and bumps. So basically when you get in these bumps, it'll look like this. Or you can use a Q-tip to smooth it out and get in the bumps. My next tip, which I'm going to use this for, is to color in ovals and little circles. Because if you go up and down like this, you can kind of like see the lines. And if you go like side to side like this, it'll cross over. And you can use this technique too. But if you don't want to like show, then like, and you want to get like a marker effect and like a smooth effect kind of. For example, when I go like this, you don't know what direction I was coloring in. But when you go like this, and you go under it, and you keep going under it and over it. Kind of get this cool effect too, but you can kind of like see where you go, where you were coloring. Now you can fix this easily just by going like that. And now it looks just like that. And it's pretty neat. My second to last tip would be getting a gradient, which is basically something like this. It's basically like going from like dark to light until you can't tell where it ends, sort of like this. For the smooth blended one, I used like a Q-tip. You can use different types of things. I'll go on that for the last tip. And for this one, I just went straight like this. Now there's different ways of doing it. The way I tend to like to do it, keep your pencil sharpened by the way, for this, would be to start with a base layer, sort of, that's just light, and get the whole thing. I'll go up to here for now. And then you start to color darker and get lighter. You don't have to start with the burnish either over here. Like, I didn't do that. I started like slightly dark sort of thing for that. And then you just keep going as light as you can. And let's say I want to go about this dark. Now I'm going to go keep varying the pressure, going lighter and lighter. I'll burnish just because you'll be able to see the difference in the color. And then, as you reach the end, you kind of don't notice when it like goes to the white. Like, you can kind of not tell where it ends if you do this enough times. It looks something like that. And if you smooth it out with like this, it also goes into the holes of the paper, the tooth. And it gives you that nice smooth look. So it all depends. By the way, this last tip is pretty helpful when you're blending, but I'll go over that in the next video. But for this part, the last tip I'm going to be saying is that there's different tools to help. Like, if you I don't have anything with me down here because I didn't bring anything. But if you have like baby oil or alcohol, you get this like nice and smooth look that like smooths it out. And then you don't have to press as hard, because also pressing hard when you burnish can start to hurt your wrist. And just experiment, kind of, too. Like, you could use solvent, baby oil, alcohol, a blending stump or a Q-tip, a white colored pencil, sort of, to burnish without making the color any darker, sort of thing. And maybe practice coloring in different directions to get different looks, and layering and mixing different colors too. Like when you use a green and a yellow, I like to put the green down first. Then when I put the yellow down, kind of mixes, gives you this cool effect. And you could actually keep doing this until you get like a desired look that you want. Like, for example, if you take a dark blue and a dark brown, you can sometimes get this, I'll show you. It'll mix, and you'll see what color it'll turn into, and it's really neat and cool. eventually. I'm still not burnishing yet. Now I'm gonna start to burnish it just to speed it up. And you can get this kind of like natural looking black. I'm gonna put a darker blue over it. And finally, just one more layer of brown. You can almost get a natural black, sort of dark brown thing. Anyway, that's all for this video. I'll see you next time and I'll tell you some more things.